Tonight at 10, as we see the devastation by Hurricane Dorian, we speak to Utahns headed out now to help those still in the storm's path. Plus, years later, a man who killed a Utah Highway Patrol trooper is up for parole. Hear from the trooper's family in tonight's The Justice Files. And wildfires rage across Utah. A desperate plea from fire officials to residents: help keep our firefighters safe as they risk it all to protect our homes.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News at 10 starts now.
Two wildfires still racing through northern Utah. The Snoqualmie wildfire in Layton and the Green Ravine fire is burning in Tooele County. I'm Emily Flores. Good to be with you tonight. We want to first get out to that Green Ravine fire, which has grown to 1,700 acres. Crews battling for containment this evening. They currently have it 10% contained. 160 people, with more on the way, are fighting that fire, including hotshot crews, engine crews, and pilots bringing in air support, trying to box that fire in.
Just because there's fire retardant, just because there's a little bit of line, doesn't mean that it's not going to grow or not going to go beyond those containment lines.
Now, fire officials say those lines need to be continuously reinforced by crews on the ground. The challenge, though, tonight is the steep, unstable terrain and, of course, the winds. Now, while the outlook is better for homes near the fire lines and other structures threatened by the wildfire, seeing those flames brush right up against their property was a harsh reminder for homeowners. ABC4's Brittany Johnson has more now on how residents can do their part to keep their homes safe. Brittany.
Well, Emily, the most important thing people can do is act beforehand. Don't wait until you see a fire barreling towards your home to start clearing out all of this dry grass. Firefighters say by that time, unfortunately, it's too late. Dry, dead grass, a cause of concern for Lake Point residents living within 200 yards of the Green Ravine fire.
A lot of uncertainty, definitely fear, and just, kind of not knowing what's going to happen. Right?
Many, like Gail Hansen, jumping into action, working to clear the brush away from their homes, thinking if they get rid of the vegetation, it won't act as a fuel for the fire.
As we saw the fire coming down and creeping closer and closer, it was just more of just that feeling like I have to do something. I can't just sit here and wait for it to come. I had my kids out with the garden hose and okay, just try and spray as much of this as you can. We'll try and get it as wet as we can. I came out with a pair of garden shears and was trying to just hack down as much as I possibly could.
Weed whackers and water hoses do one thing very effectively. They make people feel like they're doing something. But in reality, it's going to be pretty ineffective. The weed whackers probably, again, like you mentioned, is just going to leave that fuel on the ground and it's still going to burn.
Jason Curry is encouraging everyone to be proactive.
When fire is bearing down on your home, is really it's too late.
So you're not putting firefighters in any extra danger.
You're compromising the safety of the first responders and the fire departments if you're not taking responsibility for your own fuels.
Preparing for the what ifs is the best that we can do.
For ways that you at home can act beforehand, head to our website, ABC4.com. And I do want to mention, just in the last few minutes here, we've seen some lightning strikes head over this mountain. I just spoke with firefighters to get an update. They're telling me that it's not a concern for this Green Ravine fire. The lightning is a concern. They're concerned that it could start other fires in the area. There's also a concern for their firefighters camping out, handling this fire. For now, reporting live in Tooele County, I'm Brittany Johnson, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Brittany. And you could just hear the winds whipping out there at this point. Now to the Snoqualmie fire burning near Layton. The fire now 60% contained tonight after burning 128 acres. 145 firefighters continue to put out hot spots. ABC4's Nick McGurk spoke to one of those families who was forced to evacuate today.
It was horrible. We looked up and we saw the flames.
Flames roaring on the hillside above Carrie Humphreys' home.
It was like 10:30 at night when our neighbor came and got us, and we came out and the whole mountain was on fire and it was moving down.
She, one of more than 120 people evacuated because of the Snoqualmie fire in Layton, which came much too close to homes like this one. A common sight in this Layton neighborhood, fire hydrants like this, hooked up, ready to go, just in case the fire were to spread again.
So the fire's not out, and generally we like to sit through a couple burn periods in the afternoon, which is between like kind of 2 and 6, because that's the most crucial time of the day when we get active fire behavior.
Officials can't say how the fire was started, but they say firefighters are battling not only fire, but steep terrain, hot sun, and this year, lots and lots of bees.
So one of the things that's been kind of difficult for our firefighters, for whatever reason this year, there's a lot of bees. So we've had a lot of bee stings. They're the kind that live in the ground, and they come out, so when they're up there digging around, doing their thing.
Nick McGurk, ABC4 News.
And thank you, Nick. Then in Salt Lake City, a car that burst into flames started a brush fire this evening. It started near 1775 North Warm Springs Road. Fire crews were able to knock that out quickly and kept it from spreading. With numerous fires burning throughout the state, some with respiratory issues say they're struggling to breathe with all of the smoke. Experts say it's because wildfires emit the same particulate matter found in winter inversions, and those living near wildfires who have heart and lung problems will be impacted the most by the smoke.
Good rule of thumb is that you're going to want, if you can smell the smoke, then levels are starting to reach a point where it's impacting your health.
Utah Department of Environmental Quality recommending to keep everyone indoors and your windows shut and limit your time outside if possible. Okay, of course, weather playing such a big role in these fires and in the fight against them.
Yes.
How are conditions?
Well, we've got some rain in the area, but I have to show this again. This
Please
video
do.
of this is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Watch, it almost looks like a volcano. That's the fire blowing up over the Ochre Mountains. It goes to about 20,000 feet. And then as it moves over the valley, it's that smoke you were talking about that causes all kinds of lung irritations. Well, it's that smoke right there. And that's smoke from the fire, the Green Ravine fire. I mean, it really got hot today. It was 98. We tied a record high temperature in Salt Lake City today. But also, the problem is not only did it get very hot, we also saw the fires getting a bit out of control. Now, tonight we have some thunder showers in the area, several lightning strikes, as Brittany alluded to. But some of these rain areas right here by Erta and Lake Point, that could help the fire. The problem is the winds that go erratically out and about from where these fires are. So this is where the fire is burning. Here's where the moderate heavy rain is. So it's in the vicinity. It would be great if we could get water on top of it. But what would be really bad is if we had about a ½ inch of rain in 30 minutes and then we'd get a mud flow. But that doesn't seem to be as big of a problem as the winds. Right now south at 10, which means that it's pushing that fire up over the ridge. And this ridge right here is where all of the television towers are. We want it to stop before it gets there, Emily. Coming back, we'll look at Dorian. Dorian has strengthened. I'll be talking about that in just a bit.
My goodness, thank you, Dan. A whole lot going on. Well, for the latest weather conditions on the go and for the latest news and updates, download our weather app from Google Play or the App Store. Also, our news app can be found there as well. Now tonight, Ogden police released new body cam video of an officer-involved shooting from last month. Police say officers shot and killed 26-year-old Giovanni Mercado Bedoya near 32nd Street, Gramercy Avenue. Now the video shows him coming towards officers as you hear officers call him to drop a knife. The 4 officers involved put on paid administrative leave. And some tense moments in the parking lot of a Salt Lake City warehouse. This happening this morning, and it was all caught on video. Anthony Post, an employee at a nearby business, started recording what appears to be a confrontation between 2 men armed with guns. It all went down in a parking lot near 1700 South Imperial Road. Now, South Salt Lake City police responded to the incident. One of the men told them this all started over some stolen tools. And the sheriff's office in Emery County wants your help to track down this man. Take a good look here. His face is mostly covered, though. They say he broke into a cabin in Joes Valley and stole a flat-screen TV, among other things. Then he took off on a 4-wheeler. So if you were in the area and saw anything unusual, perhaps a guy on a 4-wheeler with a flat-screen TV, Emery County Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you. Like father, like son, Utah Highway Patrol Trooper Ray Pearson was murdered during a routine traffic stop back in 1978. Years later, his son followed his father's law enforcement footsteps, and as part of Clint Pearson's journey, he never lost sight of the man who killed his father. For every crime, there's a story, and the truth matters. Here's ABC4 senior crime and punishment correspondent Marcos Ortiz with tonight's Justice Files.
Clint Pearson's father and grandfather were both UHP troopers. In 1978, his father was murdered, but that didn't stop him from becoming a sheriff's deputy. And to this day, he continues to make sure justice is carried out on his father's behalf.
The one that sticks in my head is the day before.
It's a lasting memory of a then 8-year-old as he sees his father get into his patrol car.
He smiled and waved and got in the patrol car and went to work.
But the next day, Trooper Ray Pearson is gunned down during a traffic stop on State Road 20 near Panguitch. He had been following a pickup truck, turns on his lights, stops and comes out to talk to 18-year-old Brian Stack.
And Stack just stuck the gun out the window, turned it backwards and pulled the trigger and hit my dad right in the heart.
Before dying, Trooper Pearson manages to fire 6 times and radios for help. A passerby finds Pearson, calls for help, and the manhunt for a killer begins. Stack is arrested, but not after 87 shots are fired at him. One bullet grazes his head. Days later, in 1978, hundreds turn out for Trooper Pearson's funeral.
But I remember getting up on that back seat and turning around and looking back out of that car, back at that long procession of red and blue lights. As far as I could see, I couldn't even see the end of it.
40 years later, Brian Stack remains in prison. He's been there since cutting a deal to avoid the death penalty, but he's up for parole now.
There are not sufficient words for me to express the sorrow and pain I caused.
Trooper Pearson's son is there, but prison rules don't allow his photo to be taken. The hearing officer wants to know why Stack deserves to be out.
I'm no longer the 18-year-old kid whose thoughtless actions brought so much pain into so many people's lives.
Stack claims while in prison he finds religion, gains an education, and learns skills. Outside, UHP's top brass joined Pearson at the hearing. Pearson opposes Stack's release.
He made a deal with the people of the state of Utah, and he says, if you won't seek the death penalty against me, I'll serve my life in prison. And now he wants out. He wants to renege on that deal, and that's not cool.
Pearson follows his father and grandfather's footsteps. He's now a deputy for the Grand County Sheriff's Office. He says life without his father was difficult, but he grew up in hopes of making Trooper Pearson proud of his son.
And that picture goes to work with me every day. It's in my patrol car, and I keep it in my patrol car to remind me how fragile this could be.
Deputy Pearson and his family will have to wait to learn of Stack's future. The entire Board of Pardons will have to review this hearing to see whether or not Stack will be released from prison. For the Justice Files, Marcos Ortiz, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Marcos. Well, coming up, we go to the devastation left behind by Hurricane Dorian, what volunteers in Utah are doing to help those who've been evacuated by the hurricane. And district officials in Salt Lake City say they will do everything they can to make undocumented students feel safe at school. We'll hear from them.
Looking outside live on our Colonial Flag Tower camera, we are looking at a red weather ball. That's because temperatures will be about 10 degrees hotter than average tomorrow. There are also a few storms out there, and we're getting some rain in the Tooele Valley, but winds gusting to 33 miles per hour. All not good for the wildfire. Details coming up.